Hi, welcome to CNY Woman Knits and Crochets. I'm Mindy, your hostess, otherwise known as Knitter CNY on Ravelry and Instagram. I have been knitting and crocheting for over 30 years. Mostly crochet these days because I do blankets for Project Linus. That's a lot of what you'll see on this channel, and occasional yarn buying, although this year I am trying to work from my stash almost exclusively because I have totes and totes of yarn and two bookcases full of yarn, one behind me, one to just across the room in the dining room. So I store yarn two places. I have some in the dining room with totes and bookcases, and then I have some totes in my bedroom, in my bedroom closet. So I'm going to show you what I worked on this week and got done. Then I'm going to show you a work in progress. And then I'm going to show you some yarn that I had bought from Joann's. We talked about it last week that I had done a mail order. And I also did a little tiny in-person order too. I got 2 cakes of yarn. So I'm just counting it in with the mail order, and we'll just show it all at the end. So the first thing I did, last week I had started this blanket. It is the Big Twist Vortex in Bird of Paradise. You can see all those colors. I did a corner to corner blanket with a size K 6.5 millimeter hook, and it came out. I had some yarn left over because I did a 36 by 36 blanket for Project Linus. You can see how those colors play out. Not huge big stripes like Puzzle. The stripes are not, the color changes are not as long as Puzzle, but it's very equivalent to Puzzle. It's not as thick as Puzzle is. It's a worsted weight. So that's one thing done. And then I had a tote of yarn that had 2 colors of Bernat blanket in it left. I've been working out of that tote in my closet. And one color was this color, which I don't know what color it is. I didn't save the wrappers. I didn't save the ball bands. But this is a basket weave blanket from Yarnspirations. If you look back in the podcast, you'll find where I've referenced this pattern several times. It's a free pattern. Just Google Bernat blanket yarn basket weave blanket and you'll come up with it. The picture shows a red blanket, I can tell you that. It's pretty easy. It's front and back posts, double crochet, and I follow the pattern exactly. The blanket looks really good. You can see the pattern there close up as I hold it closer. And I had some yarn left over, but not a whole lot, because I wanted to stop after the 4 rows that form the pattern. You can see here there's 1, 2, 3, 4 rows that form the pattern, and then there's 5 stitches across that form the pattern. So it makes a really squishy afghan. I've made a bunch of these over the years. There was one year I made a lot for friends for Christmas, and then I had a friend who ordered some for his mom and I think his sister. Then I started this blanket, and it is the good old Suzette stitch blanket. Those colors are fitting for Valentine's Day, I thought, and this happened to be the last yarn in that tote. So now I have 1 of 13 totes that is empty, and I will not be putting anything else back in it. The color of this yarn, it's Bernat Blanket Ombre, and the color of this is called Burgundy Ombre. You can see some of the colors left over. And then on the label, it shows the progression of the stripes. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different colors in it. They're pretty, you know, I didn't color control this or anything like that, so there are breaks in the color, like in the middle of a row, as you can see with that medium pink to light pink. It breaks right in the middle of the row here, which is fine. I found a couple of knots. I've had to put those in, cut the ends, and I'll weave in the ends later. I don't like to work over knots because, except with the Bernat Blanket Ogos, I worked over the knots because they were tied in 3 places with knots between the colors. And I was like, I'm not cutting and making, 12 ends, 24 ends by the time you get done. So I'm going to show you what I bought from Joann's now. The first thing I bought was a color of Vortex. If you remember, I bought 3 colors. You can't see it, but 2 of them are up here. I used the Bird of Paradise. So this color is called Neon Rainforest. And it has oranges, greens, pinks. And they're twisted all different ways. I got 3 balls of that. I did a pickup order at the store. Shannon from Another Yarn had shared a coupon that had a 25% off. I saw it on another podcast, so I used it. And I got 2 skeins of Bernat Halo. Sorry, Colorama Halo from Karen. Still owned by Yarnspirations. And this color, I believe, is called Lavender Frost. So it goes from a dark lavender out to a light white color. I have 2 of those. Pardon me as I bend over to pick up stuff out of the bag. One of the other things I got for heels and toes was this, which is Big Twist sock wool. It is 360 yards, 330 meters, 3.5 ounces, 100 grams. It's listed as a number 2, which is a fine weight. They would call it sport weight. I got that because Patents Croy is listed as a 1, but it tends to work up as a 2. And this color is called Soft White. So it's just to do heels and toes with. I just wanted something besides black. So that could go on the shelf with all of my sock yarn that I haven't used in a while. And then the last thing I got was this color, which was the color that was out of stock from the Big Twist Pound Plus, Value Pound Plus. It's 1,093 yards, 17.6 ounces, 1,000 meters, 500 grams. It's a 100% acrylic, and this color is called Varsity Blue. It's from Big Twist from Joann's. So that's what I bought. So not a whole lot, but enough. But like I said, I'm mostly using yarn out of my stash because I have so much of it. And now with the tariffs that have been put on yarn and other goods, because a lot of the yarn comes from China. If you notice, if you look on your labels, you can tell what country your yarn is from. Like, I believe this Colorama Halo. Let's look. This Colorama Halo, for instance, is made in China. So the new yarn coming in is going to be having a tariff. The prices are going to go up. So it's a good idea to work from stash if you can. Save yourself some money until maybe those tariffs get reversed. I don't know when that'll be. Assuming we get new trade agreements or something like that. And I'm sure things will be challenged in court and all kinds of stuff will happen. But for right now, I believe it's 10% or 25%, something like that. But it's enough. And I was going to work from stash anyways this year, so it's just fine. Let's take a look, because I believe that this ombre yarn is made in China too. Yep, the ombre yarn was made in China as well. So your prices will go up on things. You can expect that. And I had a friend who is knit and crochet worthy who was discussing with me last night actually about the tariffs, and he said, well, isn't yarn made in America? And I said, it is very rare for yarn to be made in America. I said a lot of the yarn comes from Turkey. Some of it comes from India. A lot of it comes from China. I said, your smaller producers, like your independent dyers and things like that, will try and source yarn in the United States if they're able to. But there is a lot of yarn that comes from overseas, especially in acrylics. I don't know of domestic production in the United States for acrylic anymore. If you know of one, please put it in the notes below. I know one of the producers that is a domestic producer is they're in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. The name just escaped me, but they're in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. I can't remember the name right off the top of my head, but they are a mill. They do wools, I think, mostly. But you can check it out. You can check out where your yarn's from, or if you're going to buy yarn, maybe you want to choose a country that doesn't have a huge tariff on it. Maybe you want to buy your yarn from Turkey for a while. So I hope that you guys have a great week, and please craft something. I am going to be crocheting this afternoon, watching YouTube videos and relaxing and doing some laundry. Nothing exciting on a Sunday. So go craft something. It's good for your mental health.